right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast that reviews every single superhero movie ever made. This is Taped Crusaders. I'm your co-host, Mike-EL, and as always, I'm joined by Bex Luthor.
Hi, it's me. I watched this movie.
Okay. So
why
don't we talk about
anything else?
No, yeah.
Talk about Daredevil again?
No. So let's talk about the first time we saw this movie, because I obviously saw it opening night in 2004, whenever it came out. And it was hot off the heels of Spider-Man, right? And everyone was super excited for this movie. And I really, really hated this movie when it came out. And I hate it now. What about you, Becca?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I made my dad take me to see this movie. Because I was 12, so I wouldn't have gone by myself. And the only thing child me remembered from this movie was that they were mean to the dogs, and I didn't like that.
Sure.
And I would like to say adult me has the exact same opinion of this movie. I only remember the dogs, and I don't like it. What the hell? What the hell? Mike, this was right after Spider-Man.
I know. And Ang Lee is a good director. Like, you've seen Brokeback Mountain, right?
Of course, I'm queer.
Yes.
That's a fantastic movie.
I know.
Life of Pi is a great movie.
Yeah, it is good.
Like, this man has made many great movies, and Gemini Man. But also good movies.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen that. Oh, that was with
fine.
Robin Williams?
Gemini Man was Will Smith, playing his twin, Will Smith.
Oh,
and it came out during the pandemic, and I don't think anybody saw it.
Nobody saw it, with good reason.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
what? How do you make the Hulk boring?
That's a good question. It's like, okay, let's put it this way. There's many things about this movie that are sort of controversial. The first thing we should talk about is the split screen panels, right? All that stuff. Which,
yeah.
I mean, at the time, it was like, we're going to make it look like a literal comic book. But that never really works, does it?
No.
Ever.
So my partner and I were watching it, and he really liked that part, and I thought it was the stupidest thing. I was like, cool idea, bad execution. And then it reminded me of, like, did you ever watch those, like, motion comics that, like, DC and Marvel put out of some of their comics where it was, like, just, like, the panels, and then they, like, kind of animate a couple things.
Sure.
Like the Watchmen one, I think, is like one of the bigger ones. And I was like, oh, I just wish I was watching that with voice work.
That's the thing is, because it makes me think of Watchmen. Like, if they would have done a movie adaptation of Watchmen and they had these panels where at least if you have two panels and they're both very important, like maybe there's parallel actions going on at the same time that are really important. But when you just have a shot of a guy's face and then a different angle of the same guy's face, that's crap. I'm sorry. Or
yeah, I don't need to see Eric Bana's ear and his face.
You're right. You're totally right. And apparently they let the editor kind of do what he wanted, which I think kind of proves it wasn't really crucial to the script or the story of what they showed. It was just kind of like, let's just make it look cool. So yeah, I think we agree we hated that, right?
Yeah, it could have been cool, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
If they used it as like to show two different things going on at the same time, or like two perspectives maybe of the same event. But it's just like, what if it's a guy, and then what if it's a guy like this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's how comic books are. Like, comic book panels, because they're panels and they're very small, like snippets of a story, they're like very integral. Like, they're thought out.
Yes.
With the good ones, at least. So you're never going to read a comic and it's just like the same guy's face, like tilted. It's going to be something else.
You're totally right. You're right. And that's why I prefer like the arted older comics, because I think they treated every panel like a new moment. Like, oh, you know, the guy is walking in the door, and then the next panel he's getting punched in the face, and the next panel he's in a car because it's a new scene. You can't just have like, yeah, you're right, face, and then face a little bit different, and then face turned a little bit. It'd be boring.
Yeah, so like the comic panel thing could have worked if they had executed it more like a comic book. And I think that could have been like a cool stylistic choice.
Right.
Um, but unfortunately they didn't do that and it was dumb and it took me out of the movie a lot every time it
Yep.
happened.
100%. So the other thing about this movie is they try to make it quote serious, right? Serious. And I respect them for trying.
I know.
However, as you said, it's why is this movie so boring? And okay, first of all, I think the thing that I figured out this time around, it's maybe the third or fourth time I've seen it. I think the reason it's so boring is because the first like 30 or 40 minutes of the movie, you don't really know what the point of the story is. They do all this explanation with his father and then all the experiments and like these kind of like hidden things are going on. You don't quite know what they are. And then we introduce uh, Bruce and Betty, but there's never really anything at stake. And that's where I realized like this movie is almost amateur and how they don't establish right up front like what's at stake. Whereas like in Spider-Man, which I just watched for Tape Crusaders, it's like right away we know loves Mary Jane, but we know he's a dork, and it's so simple, and like that carries the whole story. And then even when he wants to, remember when he wants money? Why does he want money? It's because he wants a car
Hmm.
to impress Mary Jane. So it's all very simple, right?
Yes,
But
there's a reason for things that are happening.
exactly. In this movie, it's like they think that by showing serious things happening that we're going to be interested, but we don't know why they're happening or what they're about. It's just a bunch of people yelling at each other and a bunch of serious, sad music, but boring.
Yeah, I didn't really even figure out like halfway through the movie. I was like, "Oh, that's what they've been doing in this science lab the whole time."
Right.
Just tell me that. I would like to like you blew up a frog, but why?
Right, right, right. I know, and it's like if you think, it is a mainstream movie and kids should enjoy it. So there's nothing wrong with giving some explanation, like some very blatant exposition, like this is the experiment, this is why we're doing it, but they never really do that.
Yeah, and it's a lot of talking about n nothing.
Hmm.
Betty and Bruce talk about their non-existent relationship and how nothing happened and how nothing's happening so much. It's
Yeah.
so boring. I don't care. Either
Hmm.
kiss or don't or fight. Somebody yelling at somebody. I don't understand. Like, are we still friends? What's happening?
Hmm.
It's so frustrating. These characters have no chemistry. And I'm not as familiar with Eric Bana's work of art, but I know what's her name, Jennifer, whatever, is a good
Jennifer
actress.
Connelly, yeah.
Connolly. She's a great actress. So what's happening? What's
I just
happening?
I feel like all she did was kind of just look like she was about to cry for 2.5 hours.
Oh, they were like zoomed. This guy loves looking at people's eyes, and
Hmm.
the eye is the window to the soul. However, there's nothing going. There's nothing behind there.
There's
It's
nothing in
just
that soul.
zero
Yep.
thoughts. I just it was baffling. I was like, oh, when does he turn into the Hulk? Not
Yep.
for like 50 minutes.
I know. And that's the thing is, yeah, there's such a thing as subverting expectations and all that. But as we said, it was so boring. If everything would have been entertaining, then we'd forgive it, and we'd be fine with waiting 50 minutes, right? But no. Now here's the thing is, we usually run down the cast, and I think we can't talk about why this movie's boring without talking about Eric Bana. I'm not kidding. He's got to be the worst choice on earth to play this character or any character. But the reason I don't think he can play Bruce Banner is because to me the whole point of the character is he's supposed to be holding back rage, right?
Yeah,
But in this movie he has no emotion at
none.
all.
And I would argue that Bruce Banner is one of the most emotional characters in Marvel Comics.
Right.
He literally has multiple personality. Like
Yes.
he's constantly terrified of lashing out. Of he's traumatized from
Hmm.
an early age. Like, and this man just shaves in the mirror and looks blank, and he's
Hmm.
like, Betty, no, why are you breaking up with me?
Yeah.
I just It's like they didn't understand. It's the same problem Daredevil had. They didn't understand the character at all.
Right.
They were like, Daredevil, as a superhero, puts on the horns and fights crime. Cool. But Matt Murdock, just a guy. Same thing with this. The Hulk, big, green, smashy. Bruce Banner, just some guy. And I'm like, you missed the point
Yep, 100%.
of the character. So it's like, you know it's going to be a bad superhero movie when the alter ego of the superhero is just a dude and has no character and has no any sort of interesting factor. And when you compare it to something like Iron Man, where Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is a character.
Yes, good point.
Like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker is a character and Spider-Man is a character. And in this one, Eric Bana is just there.
You know, that's a great point because there's one line where the guy makes fun of his bike helmet and says it looks nerdy or something. And that's like the only thing. And then I'm watching this movie going, oh, is Eric Bana supposed to be nerdy? Is that what they're telling us? Because he doesn't act nerdy. None of the characters treat him like he's nerdy. He doesn't get bullied the way Peter Parker would, right? And now here's the thing is, I don't remember. Have you seen the original Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno Hulk pilot?
Yes.
It's so freaking good, okay? It's one of my favorite super adaptations. But if you think about the way Bruce Banner was, he like Bill Bixby or David Banner, but Bill Bixby is like a smaller guy. He seems very frustrated and powerless, and that's why he purposely exposes himself to gamma radiation, right?
Yes.
But in this, Eric Bana is actually a bigger guy, so he doesn't fit that. He has no emotion, so he doesn't fit that, and he has no struggle. Like in the old TV show, Bruce Banner had like a backstory. His wife was killed in a car crash because he couldn't lift the car off of her. In this, there's nothing. Like he has a backstory with his father, but he doesn't remember it. So what's the point of it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't influence the character at all. Like he could have like repressed it in a way and have that manifest somehow, like people with repressed memories do. And my partner said there's this one scene in the movie where like the Hulk and Bruce Banner are looking at each other in a mirror. And he's like, the Hulk grabs him. I was like, that's what I wanted the whole movie to be.
Yes, I agree. That was the best moment of the whole movie. Yep.
This duality of Bruce Banner versus the Hulk, but they're the same, but they're not. Like the purpose. I needed the point.
Yeah.
And he just was a guy.
You know, it's funny because we mentioned what's her name, Jennifer Connelly, but
yes,
what's his father? What's the actor's
Nick
name
Nolte.
Again? Nick Nolte. He is he's a great actor. He's a legend. He's been around forever. He's a great actor. He actually had. It seemed like he's one of those guys where it seems like there's a lot underneath the surface, and that's what we needed from Bruce Banner, right?
Yeah, just give him a little crazy. Go over the top with it.
And even like, what's his name? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I just don't get it.
Well, even like the what was his name? The general, Sam Elliott.
Yes.
Like at least we know what he's about because we know he doesn't like Bruce Banner. We know he's a military guy. Like he at least has a personality, right?
Yes. Big military man mustache. Yeah. Like I got it.
Yeah, so it's like even if they recast the lead actor, it still would have fallen flat because they didn't give anything for Bruce to Bruce Banner for him to do, right? Yeah,
like all you need to show is like on his montage going to work when he's on the bike, somebody throws something at him and he falls off his bike and he gets pissed, or he's like trying to hold it together at home after he knocks something off the coffee table, like anything that shows that this guy has any sort of internal struggle about anything.
Right.
But no, he's just really just a normal dude. He's got a mom. His girlfriend broke up with him. Rides a bike to work. Cool.
So you mentioned the scene of him looking in the mirror, which I love too. That stood out to me. That was really cool. Are there any other moments that you really liked in this movie that you can think of?
Liked? No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No. I'm trying to think. sometimes the Hulk stuff was cool, but most of it wasn't. Why he didn't do any of the like the slapping or I'm trying to think. I remember the dogs again. That was the one part of the movie I remembered. I forgot that it was a poodle, but I remembered it was dogs.
So bizarre. And apparently that is from the comics, but it's from like the 2000s comics. But you just gotta wonder,
really?
yeah. But of all the scenes they insisted they had to get in there, why did it have to be Hulk dogs?
Yeah, and then it's really weird because like the Hulk punches a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, I know, right? That's like
And
one of the rules in movies. You never hurt a dog, right?
and like they specifically later in the movie show the Hulk not killing anybody, not killing
Right.
any of the military members that are shooting at him. Like they all escape their jets or like they get out of the way before things crush them. But he just these dogs explode into dust. So I was like, is the Hulk supposed to be a good guy in this movie or not?
Right. Yes.
It's like
good
they don't
point.
know what they want to do. Like they want to show that he's big and strong and angry, but he's just like a softie on the inside. But for
Yeah.
people, not for dogs.
Right, right.
So I
Right.
definitely remember the dogs exploding into dust being
Yeah.
a piss off. I was like, what? That was the only like big cool thing we could get to fight him. And then
Mhm.
obviously he fights his dad at the end. Spoiler alert.
Sure.
That's not a good scene either.
Wait, okay, that was crap, but I thought of one thing I loved in this movie. One thing I loved. The scene where what's his name? Nick Nolte, his hand is like leaning on that pipe thing.
Yes.
That is a very good special effect.
Yes. No. Whoever did that, 10 out of 10,
Mhm.
would have been cool if it was like actually Absorbing Man, but never mind, it's fine.
It's like a combination of Absorbing Man and Zax and
Yeah,
and
that's what
whatever.
I was reading some stuff that like in an earlier draft, one of the bad guys was Absorbing Man, so they just kind of threw that on his dad, and I was like, you know what, sure, whatever.
Sure.
There has to be a big bad guy for him to fight, and it can't be Abomination because we're gonna use that in like 6 years.
Sure. And how did he? I'm trying to think of the ending. What did the Hulk do to kill him? Didn't he get so mad that he?
He sucked up all of his gamma. He like absorbed it, but
Right.
he couldn't handle how much rage it was, so he like exploded.
That's kind of an old cliche, isn't it? Like, let's just
Yes.
let's just shoot all the energy, and the bad guy can't take it, and then they kill him.
Yeah. And then Bruce just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a nothing burger of a climax, which is unfortunate when you have two big monsters fighting. Because as a fan of like Godzilla films and stuff, I love two big monsters fighting.
Sure.
And you would think that the Hulk would be at least one big monster fighting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of the Hulk jumping around and not a lot of him smashing stuff.
You know, I got to give this movie credit for one thing because all of that stuff is actually from the comics. The Hulk jumping through the desert,
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross. What's the asshole's name? The blonde asshole?
Blue eyes,
Yeah,
weird dude.
Thunderbolt. No, I don't remember who's who. There's Thunderbolt Ross
Oh,
and
Glenn Talbot.
Glenn
Is the
Talbot.
character's name.
Right. So I give him credit because all that's from the comics. Okay, fine. But I personally like the premise of the old TV show better. I always have.
Well, it's just like more interesting.
Yeah, it is. 100%. You're right.
Like this movie, Bruce doesn't even find out who he is until like almost the end. And then he gets some of his repressed memories back, and it doesn't really affect the character at all.
No, you're right. You're right.
Like
Actually,
him getting his memories is more important to Betty than it is to him.
mm-hmm. You know what? I just thought of a third thing in this movie I like, Becca.
You're like rocking it with things.
I know I'm
that you
rocking
like.
the Hulk. The very last line of the movie, when in Spanish he says, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't
Yeah.
like me when I'm angry." But that's only because it's a callback to the frickin' TV show. It's not even original. So anyway.
But I liked it. It's a callback. He said the thing. It was in
still good.
Spanish, so that's
Yes.
fun. Hilariously, didn't have subtitles on when I watched the Amazon version
Okay.
of it. And when they started speaking Spanish, it didn't auto give me subtitles, obviously, because why would I want that?
Sure.
So we were like, oh, should we turn it on? And I was like, it's got like 2 minutes left. I'll just figure it out context clues, what he's
Okay.
saying. And then when he said the line, I was like, oh, he's saying the line, but it's Spanish. So I just didn't even need the subtitles, but
Nice.
yeah, I'm sure that I missed a lot in that last few
Sure,
minutes.
don't worry, none of it was important.
He said the line, and I saw
Yeah.
it, and I figured it out. I used my context clues, and now I speak Spanish.
Nice. Good. You figured out the whole language with that one sentence. So yeah,
What is
oh
the
boy.
point
Of
of
this
some of the
movie?
character? Yes,
Okay, so
some
do
of
you
the
have the
characters in
cast?
this movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
was Bruce Banner? No point. Betty Ross, girl. Her dad, Glenn Talbot.
I like Glenn Talbot though. He was like the big douche, right?
Yeah, but like it didn't make sense anytime he did anything. Like when Bruce is like captured or whatever, and he goes to like piss him off to trigger the Hulk. Bro, what do you think is gonna happen? He's like got his arm broken and stuff, and he's like holding a gun, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There are so many like little things in this movie that I think were supposed to be funny.
That's the thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I couldn't tell sometimes. The tone was weird.
Yeah. Like there was like a couple like he comes out of the sewer and he's covered. I'm like, is this a poop joke? I don't understand what's happening.
Right. Even the way Glenn Talbot was killed was so ridiculous. Remember?
No.
Remember I think he had a bunch of guys behind him. They abandoned him in that hallway, and the Hulk was covered in that foam stuff, and he went to go shoot him, and something happened, and he just like vaporized, like or something. It was really weird the way it happened.
I feel like I just watched it. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was.
I remember
really
him like
weird.
taunting the Hulk, but
He was dead after that.
good for him.
Yeah.
I didn't like him anyway. I thought it was like they were setting up that he was going to be like a rival for Betty's affection, like that they had a
Sure.
thing in the past, but then they didn't do anything with that.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that'll piss off Bruce. No.
Mhm.
Nothing pisses off Bruce for some reason.
Exactly right.
He's not the angriest man on the planet or anything.
So, the other thing is, darn, I just had something, but it escaped me, but I'll think of it later. This movie's also very long and doesn't have a lot going on. It's very dragged out. It's like, this is one of because we've watched a lot of crappy movies on this podcast, but this movie is like, I was begging for it to be over. And then like I kept thinking, oh, now it's going to be over. But no, they would just keep adding to it. Oh, I thought of what I was going to say. We didn't even talk about the Hulk himself, because when the movie came out, I seem to remember the trailer was released and people hated the color of the Hulk so much that they changed it.
Really?
However, yeah, but it still looks like shit.
Yes.
It's too, I don't know what, it's like video game green or something, eh?
He's too bluey green and not like yellowy green enough, I think.
Okay. That's an interesting point.
Because in some scenes he looks almost like turquoise.
Okay.
I'm like, this is an interesting color choice.
Well,
what was the original color? How bad was it?
I don't know. That's the problem. Is when I did my research on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
I didn't find any evidence of this. So this might be like Mandela effect, but I'm pretty sure people complained, because that happens a lot. They complain and they change it.
Or they just complain and nothing changes.
And nothing changes.
Yeah.
But honestly, and this applies to a lot of CGI movies, I didn't give a shit when he turned into the Hulk. It just didn't look good to me. Like, I think the only time the Hulk looked good is there was one scene where he was like walking through a house. That looked good, but when he's in the base and he's like busting through walls, it just does nothing for me. Nothing.
Yeah, and I wanted more of it, but then every time it was there, I was like, oh, anyway, I hope he smashes something soon.
Yeah.
Like, I think the problem was like maybe the shadowing effect wasn't correct.
Sure.
So he just looked like pasted onto the screen sometimes. And I remember not liking it when I was a kid. I remember thinking it was weird as a kid. So I don't want to be like, oh, technology. But
Right. No,
maybe a little bit the technology, but also like they didn't know what they were doing. And unfortunately for them, they were making the Hulk movie, so they should have figured it out a little bit.
yeah, you're
The
right.
Hulk is probably an important part of the
Well,
movie called Hulk.
you're totally right. Like um I don't know. I remember, okay, even like Spider-Man. When Spider-Man swinging through the city, I remember not liking the CGI in 2002. And I remember when this movie came out, I did not like the Hulk. So like you said, it's not just looking back, 25 years later or whatever. No, it just wasn't. It was never good.
Yeah,
Um,
because there are some parts in Spider-Man where they're using like a dummy Spider-Man
sure, yeah,
and it looks good.
yeah, it does. You can touch it. Well, you know what's funny is Marshall, my friend Marshall made a good point. You remember yeah, I know, for once. You remember in Lord of the Rings
Sorry,
how
Marshall.
yeah, remember they had forced perspective to make the hobbits look small?
Yes.
They
Remember
could
how
have done that.
tried?
They could have done that with the Hulk. They could have had like an actor like Lou Ferrigno or a wrestler, like a big guy, but
Mhm.
just made him like another foot or two taller by forced perspective, right?
You mean they could have thought about it a little bit?
Yeah, exactly.
Been like, oh, what did other movies do in circumstances where they
Well,
had a big monster? Oh, something.
but that's the thing is they probably thought this looked good. That's the sad thing, but it didn't.
Mm,
You think
I
they
think
just
maybe
knew?
I think they did it and it cost money and they were like, well, we
Too
spent the
bad.
money. Yep, so
Yeah.
sad. Because like, yeah, like what year did the Lord of the Rings come out? Same year?
No, a couple years earlier, like
Yeah.
2001 or something. Yeah.
But then like in the Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of CGI in the Lord of the Rings too.
Right.
You know, there's big tree guys and stuff. And uh, the sorry, I'm losing all my nerd credit. The big monster, the You Shall Not Pass guy, he's in there.
Yeah.
The Balrog, Balrog.
Yeah, him. I don't know. Yeah,
I know like a lot of it's practical, but obviously big fire monster. So
sure.
like, you can make things look big and scary. It
Hmm.
was doable.
Totally agree.
I would have just taken a big dude in a suit sometimes over
Oh yeah,
the CGI Hulk.
and when I suggest that, people online are always like, you think that a guy would look better? Yeah, I do actually, 100%. Like Dave Bautista is a big guy, and he played Drax, and he looked fine. Because like, what's the rule that says the Hulk has to be 8 feet tall? Like to me, he could just be a big guy, like a wrestler, you know?
Yeah, it depends on the version of the Hulk. Sometimes the Hulk's really unnecessarily big.
Right,
He's like 2 stories tall, and it's like, okay, everybody needs to relax.
right.
And then he's standing next to like She-Hulk, and she's like 8 feet, like just a tall lady.
Actually, you know what's funny? I didn't even watch the She-Hulk TV show,
Oh,
but
bummer.
yeah, was it good?
I liked it a lot. It was
I
fun.
just I wish that she would have just been the actress because she was CGI, right?
Yes. I think it worked because it was just a TV show, right? I
Sure.
think it worked. That CGI I feel worked a lot better than this CGI. I mean, it wasn't great at times,
Yeah,
but that's kind of Disney Marvel's shtick at this point, I feel like.
sure.
But like the punches felt real, and like when people were interacting with her as the She-Hulk, it felt like they were interacting with a big green lady
Right,
and not just nothing. Because no one's acting off the Hulk.
right.
And you can really tell in this movie.
Good point. Yeah.
Like in Avengers and stuff like that, they have like, and they did it in Age of Ultron, I know, where they had like eyes on like stilts. So it's like, this is where the eyes of the character are going to be. This is where you can look if you want to look in the face of the character.
Right.
And that's so helpful for an actor. But obviously he's an entirely CGI character. I don't know if there was a stand-in or what was going on, but it doesn't look like the actors are looking at anything,
Right. Right.
which isn't good for anybody. It
No.
reminds me of that scene of Sir Ian McKellen, and he's like sitting in a fully green screen room as Gandalf, acting to nothing, and he's just, like sobbing because
Sure.
it's horrible. And he's a
Yeah.
Shakespearean trained actor, and it's just like so
Mhm.
sad for him that this is what movies are.
Yeah.
It made me feel like that. So like that's good. That's a great feeling. I love feeling bad for the actors in a movie I'm watching.
So okay, here's the thing is they've
No, it's the
obviously
Hulk.
no, they've done after this the Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton, which we'll get to. Then
Oh, we
they
have we have not reviewed that on this podcast yet?
nope, not yet.
Oh, good. I
Nope.
like that movie.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
haven't
then
seen it since it came out, so.
yeah, you might not like it as much. We'll see.
We just watched this movie.
So it'll be better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned.
And then they did the
It's shorter.
Yeah, definitely shorter. Then they did the what's Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
Yes.
But I personally think like I ideally I would see the Lou Ferrigno-esque Hulk. But if we're not going to get that, what I think they can do to kind of reinvigorate this character is to give us the Gray Hulk.
Yeah.
Like an intelligent but nasty person in makeup, and they can do that Hulk for a couple years. And then did you read that storyline when it was like did you ever read that storyline with the whole
With the Joe Fix-It stuff?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
So, and did you get to the point where he reunited with the Green Hulk?
No.
Because it's so cool because they had like the intelligent Gray Hulk, and then he took on the identity of Joe Fix-It.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of just went back to being an asshole for a while. But then they realized after a couple years that the Green Hulk was still there, because that's when they realized he was a separate personality.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the Gray Hulk and the Green Hulk. And then I don't know how they did it, but they reunited them all. And that's when you got the intelligent Green Hulk. I don't know what you'd call him, maybe the professor or whatever. Like, remember for a while he was just intelligent.
Doctor? Is that personality?
I don't know, but he always wore like a white undershirt, and he had a weird like haircut where like the sides were shaved. It was during like the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War era.
Yeah. Doc Green, is that one?
I don't think he had an official name,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah. And I mean, that's pretty much what Mark Ruffalo is now, but I think it'd be very cool to bring back the Gray Hulk and do it for like 10 years, 5 years, and then eventually bring back the Green Hulk. But I think that'd be a cool thing to do, you know?
And it could still be Mark Ruffalo, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it could be whoever you want it to be, because he can look a little bit different. Like in this movie, where the Hulk looks nothing like Bruce Banner.
Right. And also...
Which is... It's fine. Eric Bana is a white guy, and Ang Lee is not.
I know, and Ang Lee, apparently he did the motion capture.
Yes.
Did you know that? Ridiculous.
I could tell, because the Hulk looks like Ang Lee.
Right.
There's one part of the MCU Hulk that I always bring back to, because it's like one of my favorite lines, actually, like in the early MCU. And it's when Bruce is talking, and like everyone's fighting on the helicarrier in Avengers. And he goes, "Oh, you think you can kill me? I tried. I put a gun in my mouth and the big guy spit it out." And like, to me, that really encompasses kind of Bruce's horrific depression and the idea that the Hulk is saving him from himself a lot of the time. And then they don't do anything with it ever again. Mm-hmm. But it was, I remembered it because I remember being like, "Oh, he's got feelings." And then, nope, not anymore. He's just a big goofy guy. But it's fine, because maybe he still could have feelings. But like that line, I remember being like, "Oh, the Hulk.
Yeah.
Cool."
I mean,
they didn't have any of those lines in this one.
No, I mean, most Marvel movies, they'll have a couple good lines like that make you go, "Holy moly!" These, sometimes these have good writers behind them.
Yeah, somebody cared at one point, which I think you can boil the MCU down to a lot. Is at one point somebody cared a lot about these characters.
Sure. Yep.
And then unfortunately, money happened, and now we have what we have, which isn't terrible. But could be better.
Could be better, definitely.
Remember when these movies weren't making $1 billion each and people cared about them?
That's a good point. They were making a lot less money back in the early days. That's true.
And like people working on them cared. That's the weird thing with some of these movies. Like the Daredevil one we just watched, and this one is like, who decided that this was going to be the plot?
Well, I think it goes back to my theory that back in the old days, the studios just went, well, we know that Daredevil is just action schlock, so let's hire the action schlock guy to write it. And that's what they did, I think. They just got like, okay, who did Lethal Weapon 5? Let's get that guy, And they just gave it to whoever was around, I think.
Yeah, who wrote this movie? James Schmaus.
People I've never heard of because I looked them up.
Shout out to James Schmaus. What did you do, my dude? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Which was for Ang Lee. That was good, pretty good.
This. Okay.
And that's it.
I haven't heard of any of these movies.
Never wrote again. Never worked.
No, he again. He wrote a lot. I just have never seen them.
Right, and neither has anyone else.
Well, that sucks for him, but I'm sure he made a lot of money, so good for him, I guess. It's just like we didn't talk to any comic book writers when we were making the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it feels to me. And at least with the MCU, you can see that somebody maybe at one point read a comic book.
I know that this is like outlandish, but as someone who's read a lot of comic books, if I did the Hulk, I would probably just take the Peter David, like, Grey Hulk run and go, look, it's ready. Like, here's the script and here's the storyboards. Like, we're ready to shoot tomorrow. Right? Yeah. And just pick like 5 or 6 issues and go, here's the first movie. That's it. I don't know. It seems simple to me.
We would think that they would do that more often. They would just adapt comic book storylines into movies. But they keep like, nah, I want to tell my story. Yeah. I'm like, your story's bad, though.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah. Do a good one, and then yours.
Right.
If you want to.
Right.
But you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy who wrote Daredevil did zero clue who Matt Murdock was or what he represented. And the same for this one. No idea what the purpose of Bruce Banner is or what the story is trying to say or the duality of man or any of the like things we've come to learn are the Hulk. Except for the fact that he's green. And they didn't even get that right.
Well, I always compare it to, like, for example, Dune?
Yes.
Like, so Denis Villeneuve grew up loving Dune. Now, whether you like the movie or not, at least your starting point is a guy that loves Dune. If someone said to me, I want you to direct Dune, I would go, okay, but I've never read the book and I don't know anything about Dune. So why would you pick me? Like, I can't just like start reading Dune tomorrow and then have my vision. To me, one of the things that makes an adaptation great is that you've been planning it in your head for, years and years and years. Like everyone has a vision of Batman.
Yeah.
Because right? But something like the Hulk, where there's only been the TV show, if you're not a comics reader, you can't just go, oh, I'm going to read like 2 or 3 Hulk comics. I got it. I got it figured out. No, you have to love the Hulk, right? I think.
So you have to have any semblance of understanding of a character, especially comic book characters that have decades and decades of history. Like, I'm not saying you have to read every Hulk comic that's ever existed, but you probably should have liked the character prior to making a movie about him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Ang Lee doesn't like the Hulk, but it doesn't seem like it.
No, you're right. It doesn't show.
Like, you can tell when these superhero directors, and like, not to be like a James Gunn fangirl or whatever, but he genuinely liked the Guardians of the Galaxy enough to make a weird movie about them.
You're right. Good point.
Like, you could tell he likes Superman as a character. He didn't just make a Superman movie. He made his Superman movie.
Good point.
Because he thought about it a little bit. Because he likes Superman. So, and I think the guy who did the Captain America movies, like, not the ones we watched, the like MCU ones, liked Captain America.
Joe Johnston, yes, I agree.
Not the one we just watched. That man hated Captain America.
Yes, he did, yes.
So, and then, what's his face? Spider-Man director.
Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi clearly liked Spider-Man.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. He gets
even
Spider-Man.
If his version of Spider-Man doesn't like align with my version of Spider-Man, I at least believe that he liked him.
Sure. Right.
And so many of the movies we've watched don't seem to give a shit about the characters that they're making a movie about. And it's like, I think whoever wanted to make this movie, Ang Lee should have just made like a weird military drama, and he probably would have been happy. But instead we got this.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't, to be honest, I don't even know who to blame, because so much of this might have been the vision of the writers, but you know, and who knows? And that's why it bothers me sometimes when we just refer to movies as like Ang Lee's The Hulk or Ang Lee's Hulk. Actually, it doesn't even have the definitive article, but who knows? Who knows who came up with what ideas? I'm sure there was multiple drafts, but either way, he's responsible, because he could have just said, "No, this is crap. I'm not using this."
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, again, like I'm not gonna blame him, but we call this movie Ang Lee's Hulk, and we call the other movie The Incredible Hulk.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we don't call this one Hulk 2003 and Hulk 2008.
That's a good
We
point.
call this one Ang Lee's Hulk, and we call the other one The Incredible Hulk. So, and it's Ang Lee's face as the Hulk.
As the freaking Hulk.
He liked it enough, so we can blame him a little bit, I think. Like, a lot of the times with these newer movies, we can really blame studio intervention. A lot of the times, because like the director like talks about how much they like the movie, and then all of a sudden the movie's shit, and you're like, what could have happened in between then?
Yeah.
But I don't know, what was Marvel Studios doing at this time? They probably weren't doing too good.
I don't think officially they're doing anything, unless you count Blade, right? Blade was technically Marvel.
Blade's good.
I know.
So it can't have been Marvel's fault then.
Right.
Because Spider-Man was good, and Blade was good, and X-Men 1 and 2 were good, not 3.
Yeah.
And like, the X-Men movies were still good and fun. I just don't understand why it's the Hulk movie that we had to make a boring, like, slog of just people talking.
So what's worse, Hulk or Daredevil?
Hulk. Daredevil's funny.
You know what?
Not on purpose.
Daredevil's more entertaining, but the Hulk is definitely classier. It just depends what you want out of a movie.
Yeah. I didn't, I watched Daredevil, I watched to the end and I was like, ridiculous. Colin Farrell's big giant bullseye head and big coat. I love that. This movie, I kept like going like, an hour. It made me feel like that Captain America movie we watched, where I was like, okay, and then the Hulk would show up and I'd be like, and then nothing would happen and I'd be like,
yeah.
Movie's giving me whiplash. So at least it like, that's like the worst thing a movie can be, is make me want to watch something else or to scroll. Like if I'm watching a movie and I'm sitting and I'm watching a movie and I pick up my phone and I go on TikTok, that's bad. That's a bad movie.
I agree.
Like, I sat through all 4 hours of the Snyder Cut. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't look at my phone once. So.
But I still hated that movie. But anyway.
Yeah, but you watched the whole thing.
Yeah. I'll give it that. There's
some things that are inexcusable to movies to me, and me being bored by entertainment is one of them. Because like, I'm spending my precious time to watch your art, and your art sucks, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Speaking of precious time, guess what we're going to review next episode?
Oh no, I'm scared.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Your pick.
I love this movie.
Are you serious? Really? Wow.
Yes. I'm so excited. Oh my god, you have no idea. This movie's so bad. Have you seen it?
I saw it in the theater, but I forgot it existed until you brought it up. Yeah,
because it's a comic book.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literary characters, but they were in a graphic novel, so it counts.
Yep.
And we're gonna watch it.
Yes.
And you're gonna have to watch all of the dumb, weird steampunk shit that they decided to throw in this movie. And possibly what's his face's worst performance ever.
Whose? Sean Connery?
Yes.
Yeah. The one that made him retire from movies forever?
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Because I think the story goes that he was like offered roles in like huge movies in like Indiana Jones or something like that, and he turned it down. No, I think it was Lord of the Rings, and he turned it down. And he's like, I'm never gonna. He turned it down because he didn't understand the script, And he's like, I'm never going to turn out a movie because I don't understand the script again, because every time I do that, it ends up being the biggest, like, cinematic masterpiece of all time. And then, so he did this one.
Ah, I see. Okay. And then he was like, actually, I take that back. Not only am I not going to do scripts I can't understand, I'm not going to do any scripts.
Yeah,
How about that?
Yeah, you know what? I will never act again.
How's that? Yeah. That's kind of sad.
Fuck it. It's his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Should have read the script.
Mm-hmm.
Should have understood it. Should have texted a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been like, hey, read this script for me. And then should have been like, oh, no. Which is crazy because the comic is so good.
I know, right? And
like,
that's why
so good.
I'm not gonna say anything else about this movie because I want to save my comments for next episode. Okay?
Oh,
but
I'm so excited! This movie sucks.
Just remember, it's all on you because I was not gonna review this, but
you made me watch Captain America whatever too soon. Okay, so
yeah, okay,
we can sit through.
LXG. Yeah.
So you can watch Legion of Extraordinary Gentlemen for me.
All right, I will. Okay, there you go, folks. There's a review of Ang Lee's The Hulk. All right, until next time, see you later.
Bye.